Ladies and welcome. So today we're going live on a different day than I normally do because I was out of my office yesterday, and I put a question up on the Facebook page and asked whether you would like to have it on a Wednesday night or a Friday night. And so the first person, one of the things I've learned is that whatever the first answer you get is the answer that you follow. And so whoever put it up, and I think it might have been Anne-Marie, said Friday night suited her. So that's why we're doing it Friday night for you, which is Saturday afternoon. So welcome. We've got Adrian here and Stacia here. And whereabouts are you ladies from? If you want to put it in the comments. So if you just type in the comment, it'll come up to me and I'll be able to see where you're from. And we're going to just get started in a few minutes. We've got a fabulous topic. Every topic I teach is fabulous because I had to learn it for me. And I had to learn it for me because I wanted to create my dream life. I 30 years ago was in Texas. Woohoo! I've been there to Austin. I've been to Dr. Joe Vitale's millionaire course, and I follow him. I love him. I do Ho'oponopono. Have you heard of Dr. Joe Vitale, Stacia? He's awesome. He's fantastic. He's from The Secret. And he was once upon a time homeless and broke as well, and now he's a multimillionaire. And so he's gone on our journey, and for all of us, that's what we're doing. We've got choice A, choice B, whether to go on our journey to find the best version of ourselves and what we're called here to do or not. So I've loved his work, and I love his Ho'oponopono, which is putting it into, look him up. He's just fantastic. And if anyone's seen The Secret, you'll see him in that, and he's got other things coming up as well. So I've been there. I've been to quite a few places in the States when I've been following my dream to create my dream. And essentially that's what everybody on the planet, every single person has the possibility of doing, because that's actually why we are born. So today I'm going to go through some of the things. So wherever you are, it's going to give you some direction. So I'll just sort of give you a bit of an overview. Where's my page one gone? Sorry, I'm sort of in here. And again, the light's it's so bright outside. It's like, so I've closed the window so we can see a bit. So today what we are going to be doing, my intention for you is to give you some information about, direction for yourself, some takeaways so that not food, take away some ideas, and some aha moments, some of the aha moments that I've had. And I talk about that because then I want you to reflect on the aha moments that you've had in your life, and those, my head slipping forward, those are the times that I call a critical turning point. And a critical turning point means that you may have decided, right, I'm out of this crappy relationship where I'm being bullied, I'm out of this job that I hate, I'm not going to put up with people that are doing this to me, and they're doing it because you're actually allowing it to happen, even though that's absolute crap. When we hear it, we think, no, why am I allowing it? And the reason we have been is because we haven't had the empowerment skills. We haven't had the confidence. We haven't known what words to use. Hi, Sandy. Where are you from, Sandy? If you want to put it in the box, I'll see if I've been to your state. There's lots I haven't been to, but I have been to some. So the critical turning point is a direction in your life. It's like, you get to, to a crossroads, and when you're driving somewhere, do you turn right or left? And that's kind of, you're going the way that feels the best way to go. So absolutely fantastic. So I want you to go away with some takeaways as ideas. And I'm going to be giving you some things from quotes, books, and courses as well, so that you've got some direction. And the universe is shoulder tapping us. Now, we all know, we're all learning. You may have heard of the Me Too that happened and started in LA, Hollywood movie industry a couple of years ago. And I've got an article, and it was about one of the actresses, Kate something like that, who was one of the initial instigators. And so we've heard that Harvey Weinstein has now been, I think he's been in prison, but that whole essence of that awareness being created out in society that women aren't going to put up with this anymore. And when we think about that, the mothers, all our mothers have loved us, sons and daughters to the best of their ability, albeit that some have loved differently than others, that for every single person on the planet, that no matter what life they were brought up into, they have the opportunity to learn. And you may have heard of Dr. Wayne Dwyer, absolutely fantastic. He's passed over now, and he was very much in the States and involved with Hay House, and his courses still come through Hay House. And he's written one of his books, if you want to write this down, and it's called I Can See Clearly Now. And that whole book is him looking back into his life when he was younger and the things that happened in his life that led him on the journey to be the teacher that he was. And so for all of us, when we look at what's gone back in our lives, and his mother couldn't afford to keep him, so he was put in an orphanage, and the things that he learned, and for all of us, we've had that journey. And for all of us, we've got a choice whether we go on that journey or not. And so what happens is that within us, we are a soul. You probably heard mind, body, and soul. Well, I was nudged to put a soul and heart, soul, heart, mind, which is our thinking. So it's our feelings and our passions, our thoughts, and then our actions, which is the steps we're going to take. Are we going to read that book? Are we going to go down that road? Are we going to follow that course? Are we going to learn the skills that we need to do? Because there's absolutely no way that any of us are here to do it on our own. There's absolutely no way that anyone, be it John Assaraf, Oprah, she's had her Martha Beck as her guide and coach. Everyone has had, including Joe Vitale, who's now the teacher, everyone has had somebody to teach them. And that's the cycle that goes on. Napoleon Hill, there's just so much there. So our inner GPS is our guide. And we've got to learn how to use it correctly, because we get stuck up in fear of, well, what if those people think, what if they think that of me? And I've been there, done that. My family think I'm a bit wacky because I'm on a spiritual journey and I am a coach and I write and I talk and I teach, but I don't teach it the normal way that I'm in a school. I teach it out here. I teach it in conferences and I teach it in workshops. And because I've got in touch with my soul and my spiritual guides, which you girls have got, all you ladies have got those as well. It's very unusual for them because that's their comfort zone and this is my comfort zone that I choose to learn. And for all of you, it's about letting your family go, but deciding what you learn from them, because they are, for all of us, our biggest learning curve. And so our inner GPS is guiding us, and we've got to, if we want direction, which you want to direction because you're here on this page, it's learning to follow that and overcoming the fears. And you don't know all the steps. We don't know all the steps. The universe doesn't give us all the steps. It gives us the next one. We do that, and then the next one, and we do that, and we do the next one. And so for all of us, it's changing that fear over to faith. And I just want to put this up here because I've had this on my page a couple of times, and I talk about it every time because it clearly explains your journey. And there is a video on my Facebook page. I probably put it up about a week ago. Go scrolling through it if you haven't seen it. But it is the level of consciousness. And way down here, I was talking about it, this is all the negativity and the fear and the don't know and the scared and everything down here when you're starting your journey. And when you are moving up moving up here, you're starting to learn and embrace different concepts and different ways of thinking that how you're going to act, and you're embracing new skills. And then we look up here, which is sort of at enlightenment, which, you know, when I started, I was way down here. So, you know, I'm probably pretty much up here now, because I'm very fortunate. I see it as fortunate now. I didn't see it as fortunate when it started happening, because I didn't understand it, that I get guided. So I do get guided. You might hear me say, well, I've been nudged to put this up on the page. Well, that's because I'm in touch with my intuition, and I can actually, I'm clairvoyant, and whatever Barbara said last time, I keep forgetting, clear audience, clear something. So I will get messages to pass on to the people in the group, and there will be somebody that needs that. So when we're looking at direction, you're down here, you're wanting to go up there. So the universe is shoulder tapping you, and I start that right from the beginning, because what I wrote in those pictures that I put in the ads were to draw the people here that are ready to learn. And when there's something that knocks us on the shoulder, a little thought that we have, and we follow it, we're taking the next step. So I'm going to share about my first lot of shoulder tapping. I mean, you may have heard my story. So when I was doing a self-esteem course for my children, when they were babies, toddlers, I learned I had low self-esteem. It had happened from bullying. When I was 15, I had low self-esteem for 18 years before I realized what the problem was and started to solve it straight from then. But then when I was at the childcare centre where I was taking my girls, I was what I called shoulder, and I love this, it's shoulder tap. It's actually the universe tapping you on the shoulder. And we talk about a lot in the course, because the course, and I'm going to talk about that bit as well, because the universe is saying, go here, go here, go here, learn this. And that shoulder tapping is you being guided to your direction and towards what you need to learn next in your life. And I wrote an article about that. I called it, she's my friend, Angel in White Cardigan. And exactly, you know, she changed my life because she got me into teaching. I'd never been a teacher before. I'd been a dressmaker, a travel agent. You know, I was now a young mum, and she saw abilities, and other people will always see abilities in you that you don't see yourself. And when we talk, when I have this in my course, we go into it really deeply, because it's like you're naturally, you is just who you think you are, and you don't see something that is naturally easy for you as a skill, as a natural attribute. You just think, oh, well, I can do it and it's easy, and everyone else can do it and it's easy. Well, it's actually not. And so they have different attributes, different personalities. And so you've got to actually tap into you and follow that journey. So what I want to just share, last time, one of the ladies in the course in the live said, asked, what do you do if you are unhappy? And I gave some direction then, and this is a starting point. Hi, Paulette, you joined us a few moments ago, and Sandy as well. Sorry, I haven't said hello to you, but hi, ladies. And so when you are unhappy, for a start, you're going to be way down the bottom here on this. It's going to be right down the bottom, somewhere down here. And I always say go in the opposite direction. So, for example, if you're overweight and unfit, you go in the opposite direction, you lose weight, you get fit. If you've got low confidence, no confidence, you go the opposite direction, you learn how to build your confidence. If you in a job you hate, you just learn the skills to go into a new job that you want. And so in essence, all of that is giving you direction, because you're going the opposite. And, you know, if you've got a negative attitude, you learn how to have a positive attitude. And so that there is anything that feels not okay in your life, you know, be it, well, what are the cover topics we've talked? We talked about relationships on Valentine's Day. Any relationship is not okay, then you need to learn about relationships. And you need to learn the 4 different types of scenarios. I actually do this in my course, because I'm going to be referring to this, because this is critical for you to get on track in your life. You can wriggle around. You can wriggle around and you can go down 20 different paths to find the final direction that you should be in. That can take you 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And then hopefully you've been able to find that. Or you can go on a place where you can learn that quickly. And for me, when I started my journey 30 years ago, it's like I went on that journey really quickly. I knew what my problem was. I wanted to be a great mum. That was all I wanted to be to begin with, a good role model for my girls. They were 3 and 18 months old. So it was my responsibility. I had to feed them. I had to do everything for them, but I also had to teach them to think and also to be able to be a good role model for them. And so, we've got some more. Jackie, Tracy and Carol, hi. If anyone wants to put in where they're from, then I'll tell you if I've been to your state. And if not, I'll have to get my map out and find out where you're from. So for all of you, as you go on that direction, it's the opposite of what you've got now that's not making you happy. What skill set do you need to learn? Because it's like if you go to a job and you can only get so far because you can't get a promotion because you haven't got the next skills to be the manager or the new software or whatever it is. You've got to upskill your brain. You've got to upskill your computer. You've got to upskill your phone. You've also got to upskill your life, because that's the only way you're going to find the happiness that you want. And that's where you're looking to get direction, your immediate direction. So, and I'm going to share some of the bits and pieces that have happened to me, and hopefully, and I'm sure that it will, they will help you. So my journey's been unusual, I think I could say. So the shoulder tapping for me, which I've just talked about, and you will be probably getting shoulder tapped in some ways, but may not even have realized it. You may have, somebody suggested you go for a job, or you go something, you said, oh no, I can't do that, or I haven't got the money, or I'm not good enough at it. And so you've rejected what the universe has sent you, because your journey is to be the best version, and to have that best version and get your purpose, you're going up there. That's what you're doing. And there's another post I've got on my page about negative attitude and positive attitude, which we did last time. And if you're in the negative, which I was 30 years ago, who have we got joined? We've got a few more people, Cheryl joined. So that's the journey you've got to go down. And Jack Canfield, and you've probably heard of Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul. He was the founder of the International Council of Self-Esteem like 25 years ago. I was the president probably about 5 years ago. But Jack Canfield, you may know from the Chicken Soup from the Soul, and he was also in The Secret with Dr. Joe Vitale and John Assaraf and a whole lot of other people. He says you can drive from New York to Los Angeles, but we're going back this way. Oh, hold on, which way? New York to Los Angeles, and the only thing you need to, at night time, the only thing you need is your headlights on for that, 50 meters of the journey in front of you, and all the way across that 50 meters of light that you're going to get by your car lights is going to get you across from one side of America to the other. And that's exactly the same in life. So you're only going to get the next bit, and then they will give you the next bit, and then the next bit. And your job is to learn how to be able to understand. Hi, Gail's just joined us. Understand that concept, because you do not get it all at once. Your energy couldn't handle it. Your brain couldn't handle it, and you haven't got the skills to handle it. So the universe sends you it a little bit at a time. And that's kind of how it works. So think about what you've been shoulder tapped for, you've been offered, and you've said no to, because now you've sort of said, no, I can't do that. Your job is to do it and learn the skills, and then go up to the next level and learn the skill, or learn that you like it or don't like it and things like that. That's the journey of life. So as I said, for me, my journey, and this is where you get shoulder tapped and you don't know what you're doing. but you get shoulder tapped, and it's like, if I don't do this, I will always feel a failure, so I feel that I've got to do it. So for me, so this is my first book. Now, basically, this book was channeled to me. Like, I was out boating, and I'm a boatie, and thoughts just continuously came into my head. And the only way I could get rid of them was to write them down. So I'd write them all down. Basically, really, I was writing a poem. And but I didn't realize that then. And then another lot had come in. I was like, oh my God, I'm going nuts. But I just wrote them all down. So when I finished, I think I was cruising for 10 days, I had all these poems. And if you may have heard of Marianne Williamson. So Marianne Williamson with the Course of Miracles was also channeled to her. And lots of other people have had information channeled to them to bring it to the world. And in fact, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, was also channeled to him. And so the universe is getting guided. Now, so I had all the poems, and I got the idea to turn it into the book, because what do I do with it? So when I did this, and I may have mentioned last time, it was so huge, and it was just like on my ironing table, and I just burst into tears. But I was guided to do something, and if I didn't do it, I would have felt like a failure. And I would have wondered for the rest of my life, if I didn't have the courage to do it, why I was guided to do it. What I would have gone on pondering forever and ever. Kavita's joined us. Hi, Kavita. So that's kind of was the next step for me, and you need to write down and think about what were your next steps. What have you been guided to do? And so I just a lot of my stuff's overseas in Australia in storage, but I found, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to read it because I haven't got enough light here. I gave this book to my mum. My mum's now passed along on, but she gave her some flowers today. And she's written down a poem here, which I gave to her, and it's about your choice. And I might have to put my glasses on to see this lady, see if I've got some old glasses here. But it's actually, I actually have this in my course as well. And it says, you can walk in valleys, but I'm not coming to, because I'll be climbing mountains where I can see the view. You can look through windows and see the world from afar, but I'll be out there reaching to catch a rising star. I'm going to put this in my, these glasses don't look so crash up with my fancy dancy hat. Sorry, ladies, I usually have black ones. Anyway, getting back to the poem. You can lie there watching the best of life go by, but I'll be out there achieving wherever I want to be. I'll be out there achieving whatever I want to be. And if you want the secret of how to win or lose, then listen and I'll tell you, all you do is choose. So this is very special. I gave my mum the poem. I will put it up in the Facebook page. My mum actually wrote that. That's her handwriting. This is lovely because I've just found it in my book. My mum's written that in the book that I gave her, and she's no longer with me. So that's chuffing me up. Oh, love my mum. So you've got to make that choice. You've got to choose. Do you want to have your dream life? I mean, how about somebody writes down what some of their dreams are? Who's got a dream they want to achieve? I mean, mine is sailing around the world with a gorgeous, fabulous man having adventures, a yellow Mustang convertible because I've worked so hard on the movie script, and bringing the movie to the world. Those are some of my dreams. Anybody got any dreams they want to achieve? Anybody got any dreams you want to achieve? Your job is to go and find them and start creating them. So on that note, because nobody's got any dreams yet, I'll just talk about this because this is my Positively You Confident Successful Living program. Every single thing that has been a catalyst, because I've done so many courses, but the main things that have become critical turning points, which I talked about at the beginning of the movie, critical turning point, whereas a huge aha moment, a light bulb goes off in your head, and you change direction, or you see the world from a different light, like what I did when I did my first book, when I wrote down all the things that were being channeled to me. So, but all the main things are in this program that have changed my life. And these are the things I've actually got in the movie as well. The four main things in the movie, four main things in the movie that are in the phone app in the movie, because these are the critical things. But in the program, what I talk about is learn who you are. I've always said everyone, well, it's true, everyone has their own fingerprint. And maybe it's written on there, you have to learn about confidence. You have to learn to be assertive. You have to learn to, your soul this time around needs to be compassionate. You have to learn to be truthful. But every single person that is born has some lessons to learn in this lifetime. And actually, we have lessons from our last life that we bring as well. So when we're wanting to be positive and successful, we've got a learning curve in front of us. So in the first module of this, it's like we're looking at who we are. What are our numbers? What's our soul journey? What's your numerology? What is your naming? And that's important because you've never done this before. Unless you've been listening to an Oprah show or something, you might have done something. Because until you actually start to grasp who you are, you don't know which direction to go in. And I remember my 40th birthday, which was quite a few years ago, but a year or two ago, we'll do for now, that I got all the stuff that I'd learned. I put it all up on my wall, and I share this in the program as well. And I went through and I found the common words. My common words were leadership. Here I am, a leader. Confidence. Those are the two that I've got that can remember, but there was other things that came out. Those were the two main things that reflected who I was. I was a leader, but I'd lost that when I was bullied, and I needed to gain my confidence, but then I was guided to teach. So you've got to look back at your life and sort of see what are your triggers that are the things that you find the hardest to do, because those are the things you have to learn. And they will also be the trickiest things, because until you start to conquer those things, you won't be on track in your life. And so for me, learning the confidence thing, the self-esteem thing, I mean, it grows all the time. And then, a couple of weeks ago, I had a huge hiccup, knocked me for a sixer. And, I went way down my scale until I found and solved it. And that happens all the time. So that's why I teach this. And I do in this program, I'm going to go back to it, because it's what's your life journey? What is your soul here to learn? And every soul here is learned to something. So I'm a number 9, which means I'm a compassionate humanitarian. And I may have said this before, when I learned that, it's like, oh my God, I've got 2 teenage girls and I'm trying to pay the mortgage and work, and I had tenants, and it's like, but now, years later, that's what I'm doing. That's what the movie is about. That's what this is about. That's what I teach out in the corporate market. I teach people skills. So, got a fringe of my tongue for a haircut. Teach people skills to be able to improve their life. So the other thing that I do is the personality thing. This is in the movie because this is huge. This I teach in every workshop, and people comment on it as the most significant thing that they've learned from whatever I teach. So I teach confidence and attitude and relationships and everything, but the thing that they love the most is the personalities, because they start to own themselves. And I know when I did it years ago, I was sitting next to my brother, and I'm not great at writing down goals with a black or blue pen on a white sheet of paper, and they were all written down, and I didn't interest me at all. But when I learned that that's actually not my personality, and guess what? I'm a red person. I'm a colourful person. When I realised that and embraced that about myself, it was like I felt better that I wasn't the same as my brother, who would just write down lots of goals and be really good at maths and really good at accounting and things like that. And I'm the opposite. So that's why that's critical. Now, the believe in yourself, that's the confidence. Now, you've probably seen that I did on the Facebook page, and I did one of those with all question marks for you to start answering them for yourself, because that's what you've got to find. You've got to find, what are your dreams? Because I've asked you what your dreams are, and nobody's told me what their dreams are. So have you not got any dreams? Because if you've not got any dreams, the universe isn't going to deliver anything until you start finding some dreams. And one of the ways that you can do that is you go out and try things. You go back to what you liked in your life. You know, I was brought up on the sea. I love the sea. I want to keep sailing. I can't not be near the sea because I'd go nuts, nutsier. I don't know if there's such a word. Anyway, but so it's like, what's your dream? What brings you joy? What's your inner sparkle? You've got to discover that. You know, for me, I've been listening to lots of music, and I can get up and dance and play the piano, and just been down to see my niece's son. So I don't know if that's my nephew. No, he's not really my nephew. I might be. And had lots of cuddles with a little toddler and played with him, and, you know, brings joy. Then there's your work. What's your work? And when you understand your personalities, you understand what work suits you. And I remember I did this because I've traveled around New Zealand and did the personality thing. And I had one lady, she arrived in the course, she had a lime green suit, she looked stunning, lime green suit on, leopard skin shoes, and I think a leopard skin scarf or bag or something. She looked fantastic. And when I did the personality thing, she came up to me and she said, "Oh my God," she said, "no wonder I hate my job." Her job that she had then was as a receptionist in a retirement village. She said, "I hate it." And I said, "Well, what's your personality?" I said, I can read personalities by their clothes. And she was way out there as a peacock. And she said, "I can see what's happened." She did her real estate papers like 3 or 5 years ago, so that she could sell real estate, and she didn't have the confidence to be able to take the next step. So she had the qualifications, but she didn't have the confidence to go in and actually start implementing what she had learned to do. And so for 3 or 5 years, she'd gone and got this other job, hated it, and she said, "I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and I'm going to resign from my job, and I'm going to go and do selling real estate." So that's what you learn from your personalities. I've got one daughter who is been caring for animals, one daughter who is analytical. Now, they're upgrading their careers, but they're still basically staying in that vein of their personality. One's going from caring for animals to caring for humans. One's going from designing or working on designs of houses to working on designs of buildings and bridges and roads and things like that. So that it's still in the same personality. They've just upgraded their career. And so that's why that's so important. So when you look at your work, you want to be aligned to your personality. You know, me, as I say, I'm a peacock, I'm a writer, I'm a speaker, I'm a communicator, I'm an outside the square box thinker. So with this, which is on the page, again, the things you're looking at, what's your glamour things? I mean, I've been to a photographer to get like this. I mean, ladies, I don't normally look this glam, but I look very, very glam in these photos, and I've got them on my Facebook, on my website. What do you do to stand in that feminine power of who you are, that goddess, that feminine goddess of who you are? You know, because we've all got it, and we shelve it when we're, you know, running a home and a business and everything. What are the things that make you feel glamorous? And as we go into this next stage in society, which is about feminine power being equal to male power, so the yin and yang. And so that's coming up because we've had the Me Too, we've got Harry Weinstein, we've got things that are happening globally that are bringing the equality back, or no, it's actually never been equal, bringing the equality so that it's equal. So you are part of it because you're a woman here on the earth, and your grandparents, like my grandparents, didn't have these opportunities, and so they did the best that they could with the world that they lived in, and they lived through wars and all sorts of things that we have no idea about. Okay, we've got a virus right now, but they did things that was just survival. We've got other opportunities. So even for me, it's like living. My mum and my grandmum have encouraged me to follow my dreams because they never could. So for you ladies, it's stepping up to honor them, to honor yourself, and to also be a role model for your children. Because if you want your children to have a different and a more positive life, you've actually got to be showing that you're doing it for yourself as well. Michelle's just joined us. Hi, Michelle. The replay is on, so later on you can watch the first part of it. So this is what you've got to learn about you. What brings you fun? You know, what's in your soul? And excuse me, ladies, sorry. All of that is your journey to uncover that. So that's why my whole course is about that. We do confidence. We've talked about confidence. We do positivity. We've had a Facebook Live about attitude. We've had the one about relationships, because you need to learn to be able to have a good relationship for you, but you need to empower yourself, which means that it's you standing in your own space. It's you learning to make decisions for yourself, that if somebody asks you if you want fish and chips or pizza or what's another, Mexican, you might say, well, what everyone else wants. And then they get fish and chips and you think, oh, I don't like that, it's not healthy. You need to be able to say, oh, I want Mexican because that's healthy. So you need to be able to stand up and say that. And that's what empowerment is about. So, so excuse me, ladies. Hi, Janice just joined us. So that's kind of what we're looking for. And then designing your dreams. You know, like I've asked you, what are your dreams? Does anybody want to write down there now what their dream is? Is your dream to go to Machu Picchu? Is your dream to go to the Grand Canyon? Is your dream to own a yellow Mustang like me? and in that space, when we look at the law of attraction, which is what you're wanting to do, because when you go up the scale that I'm talking about here, you're getting up into here to the energy that the law of attraction is going to work. The law of attraction down here is giving you the next step. Learn to be positive, learn to be confident. And as you go up, you are learning more about that. So all of this is part of the journey. So your life purpose, part of that is to, well, actually all of that is to go on that journey. All of that is to go up that scale, because your soul is here to learn things. So you've got to learn how to do them. So a couple of things that how you will discover it, and there's little bits and pieces that will happen in your life. So I was getting some healing done one day, and these are lotus flowers. Because if something's not right with me, I go and fix it. It's like, I'm not going to hang around. I've got to sort it out because I want to move on to the next thing. So as this lady was healing me, she said, I saw a big, huge lotus flower above you. And so I looked it up the other day again, because I know it was all about enrichment and stuff. And she says, and what it's got here, lotus symbolizes the purity of heart and mind. The lotus flower represents long life. That's great. Health, honor, and good luck. And so there's different colors, but they're all about spiritual meaning is ascension, enlightenment, or rebirth. So when I looked, I remember I kind of looked it up before, but I forgot. When I look at that, that's me, so I own it. So you've got to do that with anything that's happened. Hi, Laura's just joined us. Anything at all that's happened into your life. It's happening to give you a bit of information about yourself. And that's the direction. It's your life purpose is to be the best version of yourself, to use your gifts and talents so that you have everything that you want in your life, and then to be able to share it with the world. So the personality is vital because it gets you to learn who you are. The modules with all the names and the stars and everything is vital because you learn who you are. And then you know which direction to go in and how to make decisions about creating more space, about saying no to that person, and not worrying about leaving those people behind, because you're going to meet more people that are new and more positive and on the journey that you want. So for me, I can only talk about me and this particular thing. The Success Attitude book, when I got the vision and the huge spoken message to me in the year 2000, I'd been given Write Your Life Story probably about five years earlier. And it's like, oh my God, I'm not important. I'm just a single mum with 2 kids trying to survive. But it wasn't until years later that my journey is about self-esteem, from way down the bottom to way up top. And as I've learned, I'm a compassionate humanitarian, and as I've been guided, because as I said, they only give you the next bit, and you've got to do that. They're not going to give you that. You've got to do that, to do that, to do that. And you will be guided to do that. And it's learning how to follow that. So when I was given Write My Life Story, it's like, nah, not important. I haven't climbed a mountain or done anything fancy-dancy. And then I started Self-Esteem Day and the vision of the movie screen, 2000. And it wasn't until 2006 when I was on the airplane, they said the best way to teach self-esteem is through a movie and technology. Now, I didn't just start writing a book or write a movie. That sat with me for a while because I kind of didn't understand. It's like, well, yeah, hold on. I don't know how to do that. But when I chose to start doing it, the universe set up synchronicity. The universe set up that the lady that lived three houses down the road from me in Little Huntley in New Zealand, who I knew had been over to the course, and that this lady ran, that could guide me to write the movie script. So, and even with the book. So I was at a business group, and a friend of mine, Richard Webster, who is a huge global author on New Age and that sort of thing, he guided me to write the book. I said, how to do it? And he go, do the mind map and everything like that. And so the universe sends you stuff so that you can follow your life purpose, and the next bit, the next bit, the next bit. Maybe it's this course, maybe it's that course, maybe it's going over there. You're not going to be able to just go from here to there. I couldn't have gone just from what I got given in the year 2000. I didn't even know that it was a movie screen. It was like I was pretty scared. And it hasn't happened yet. And so it's possibly going to the next stage this year, because this year is new love, manifestation, and things like that. But it's taken that time, but I've had to do things for me. I've had to write the book. I've had to write the movie script. I've had to write do the website. I've had to get me ready. I've had to let go crap in my life. I've had to be in a space that I can do that. So if suddenly the director comes tomorrow and wants to turn this into the movie, I can go up and give a presentation and do it. So your life purpose is stages towards becoming the best of you. And you've got to learn who you are and what your gifts and talents are, and think, if I don't do this, will I feel like a failure for the rest of my life? And if your answer is yes, then you must do it, because that is part of your life journey. Because as I've said, hi, Erica's just joined us. As I've said, the universe gives it to you in steps. And anytime you think that you're going to regret not doing it, that's a message from your inner spirit, from your soul. And that regret will be so big, and you will bury it, and you will get depressed, and you will get unhappy, and you will be in despair because you think, I can't do that. But your job is to learn how to do it just one bit at a time. One bit at a time. The first book didn't just happen. The second book didn't just happen. And it's probably going to be rewritten again. It's probably going to be a third one because, I left some out. And So understand that following your life purpose is you getting on to being the best of you, moving from all the unhappy bits to the happy bits, and learning the things that you need to learn. So what I want to invite you to do is, if you've taken notes, I'll put the choice poem up there. Have a 6D strategy call for me, because until you don't know what you do know. You don't know what you, hold on, I've got to get this round. You don't know what you don't know until you learn that you need to know it. And so that's kind of what all these lives are about. I'm giving you the snippets of information that are going to take you forward, because I didn't know that I needed to do a course. I didn't know that I was going to write a movie script when I started this journey. So I started that when the girls were 30 years ago. I suppose I started writing the movie script maybe 10 years ago. But the journey started on the things that I felt, and I went the things that felt like I needed to learn. The reason I've got a course together is because I've been teaching this, and I've known the things that you have to learn to get onto your journey. And that's what that's all about. This is my life purpose. This is my life purpose, bringing this information to the world in a simple way that we can comprehend it. We're busy. We've got so much stuff going on. You know, let's turn off television and turn off the stuff that's not making us happy. We don't have to watch all those videos on Facebook, and we don't have to watch everyone. We can just watch the ones that are going to make us happy. And a couple of them I've posted onto the page. That beautiful one of Adam Lambert singing that song, Believe, you know, and that's letting go the people that don't work for us and believing in yourself, getting rid of it. They're not good enough. They're not good enough for you. You need to start to believe in yourself that you can do that. And that's your confidence coming up and up and up and up and up and up. So for everyone, that's the journey that we're on. Now, so I'm going to put the link for the success strategy call up there so you can call me. I've told you about my program because you can't do this on your own. I know I could never, ever. I've been on umpteen courses, and I've already talked about Joe Vitale's, I've talked about John Assaraf's, I've talked about, read Louise Hay's books, I've done some of her courses. I'm now doing another course with Hay House. I mean, I'm continually learning, because if I want to be able to create my dream life, and I've got lots of it happening now, then I've got to learn how to do it. Learn how to do it and be the best version of myself. Now, the other day after my incident that I had to go and get some healing. Again, more healing, because if something's not working for me. So I went and with Hay House, I'm doing the energy course with Donna Eden. And after my hiccup, I was out beach walking, asking universe, how do I heal myself? What do I do? What do I need to do? And apparently my energy had split in two. It's like, oh my God, I don't know that. And I was just trying to walk straight. So I went to the healer and had all my chakras aligned, because all of these are part of us, our chakras, our every little bit that we have, every little bit of food that we eat, everything is making us better and healthier to be able to achieve our dreams. And in that, getting out my chakras aligned and the oils that I've been taking that aligned to that, she saw on my forehead a big magenta cross. Now, what that means is I've gone and had a look at it. I've written it down somewhere. It's all about spirituality. It's all about being a leader. It's all about rebirth, you know, which is me learning to be myself. And now I've made one. So this one here I've just made out. It's probably a bit hard to see. It's just on a gold piece. It's actually a whole lot of buttons out of my mother's button tin. So I had a lot of fun with that, little beads and things on it. And then I've just sprinkled gold dust on it. So that was me now owning another bit of me that I didn't know about. The same as the lotus flower. The same as every little thing that we learn about ourselves. And the more you learn, the happier you are, because you're on track. You can take 20 roads and things will come to you in your life and you think, oh, maybe I should try this, or maybe I should try that, or maybe I should try that. And you go down them and you've wasted 6 months, or you've wasted, $6,000, or you've wasted bloody whatever time and energy. Your job is to get as close as you can to the direction that feels the best for you. To be able to tap into your mind, body, well, first of all, your soul and your GPS. And if you ask a question, is this right for me? And if you get a no, then okay, you don't do it. If you get a yes, you go down there. Now, in that yes, what may happen, you're being sent down there to learn something that's really a challenge for you, because you need to learn that. So maybe it's learning to stand up to your family and creating some new boundaries. So maybe, because crap happens so that you can learn. And that's actually why the really bad things happen in your life. It's so that you learn and think, I don't want this. I want something better. So you learn from it and go in the opposite direction. So for me, for my big hiccup that I had when I went and got the clearing, what came out of that is I could change my diet. I needed to do some things to make me stronger. Because if I want to do the work that I do and bring the movie to the world, which is pretty close to happening, well, it's going to happen. The universe is going to send it on in. Then I've got to be strong enough to be able to do it. So out of the crap and the week of challenge came some good things. You're going to have them in your life as well. Because as you raise your life to be the better version of you, it's letting go of the stuff. Maybe it's letting go of eating hamburgers, drinking alcohol, smoking, not exercising. It's letting go of that so that you can get crisper and clearer to who you are, but then tapping into your soul. And that's what I do in the first stage of the course. What's your life journey? We get on there, and then you need to be able to look back and see where you've been shoulder tapped, that you've missed the cue, and that you're willing to get back onto that. Because the world needs the best version of you. If you want to make the world a better place for yourself, for your children, you've got to start with you. The woman power that is happening is because it's our time. And you'll hear every speaker, every light worker, every person talking about raising the consciousness about what's happening. So, ladies, you can tell I'm passionate about it because I am a teacher. I am here. My calling, what was I give? I've got it written out. I've got this calling. This was channeled to me. I've got this calling. So what is it I need to do to make it happen? So that's what I have to do. And I'm encouraging you to do that for you as well. So what I'm going to offer, I'll put the link up there for the success strategy page. I'm got my course, which I've talked about as well. So if anyone wants to talk about this, what I'm going to offer, and I offered it in a couple of weeks, I'm going to offer the last session. So once you've done the course, I can do it, and I will be offering a free session where I will contact Divine, and we will get the extra direction for you. We can't do it at the beginning because I haven't got enough information, and you haven't actually got enough information about yourself, because you need to know which dreams and which roads to follow. And then what I do with you, I work. And so this is an extra session on top of the course included. Well, it's an extra bonus that I'm including this time. It's valued at $250, but it means that what I do, I work directly with you once you've done the whole course, and we tap into the universe specifically with what's come out for you. And you're getting absolute, the best. I mean, I will channel as we are going through the course, and as I I get nudges and I put it up there. I get more stuff for you in the course, and at the last one we tap it into it completely. So if you're looking for the direction, if you want to step up, and I hope you do, because we need you, the world needs you, and your direction, your life purpose is the bits that feel really, really great for you, and then to be able to create the boundaries, the time, the business, whatever it is, so that you can incorporate that in your life so that you are the happiest, the most successful person that you can be, and you're giving back to the world. So people like Elton John, and I've spoken about him, all the stuff's happened to all his friends, died with AIDS. He still does his concert at age 70, and he's donated $450 million to AIDS, as have many, many, many movie stars. They've used their gifts and talents to things that they love. They're earning great money, and they know that now is the time we give it back. And that's the whole essence of your life journey. That's what we're all on. So with Me for the Movie, there's a big charity attached to it as well, because that's the best way to teach. So anybody got any questions? Because it's time to wind up. Okay, ladies, so what you can do is you can private message me. I will this live on Facebook. I don't know, it seems to take about 5 or 10 minutes before it goes live. The replay. I'll put the links in there. I'll put the poem in there. But have the call with me, because that is actually going to be the best direction for you. And that I can pick up, like I can pick personalities. I can pick up from what the words that you use to give you some direction to move forward in your life. So I hope you've enjoyed that, learned something. My intention was that you went away with some aha moments, some takeaways. There's poems and quotes and everything that have been included in this, and so I hope you've enjoyed it. So have a lovely evening. It's Friday night over in the States. It's Saturday night here in New Zealand. So my football team won last night, so that's good. And I'll go and have family time. And I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you on Facebook. And I hope you like the little quote today that my sister gave me with a little toy. If you haven't, go and listen to it and enjoy what it says. So thank you. We'll see you back in the group.